another episode of Cookin with Blondes. Here we are at the magnificent Shakers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we have again one of our newer Shakerettes with us, Katie.
Hi guys.
Hello, Katie. Welcome. And we had recently done a Cajun garlic shrimp. We see that in an episode. Now we're going to do a Creole shrimp. What's the difference? Well, they're both, yes, from the Louisiana area, and they're both very prevalent throughout much the Caribbean today, but especially in New Orleans, well, it kind of fits together. So what we're going to do right now is a Creole style. The difference in the two styles is that tomato plays a very big part, and there's much more of a French basis that goes along with the Creole style that we're doing. So, first order of the business is going to be our shrimp, and while you are shucking shrimp, now that you know how to shuck the shrimp, right? Keep the last tail section on because it's better theater.
Okay.
I have got something going right here, and this is a very simple Creole base. So I took some tomato before I mulched it down in a food processor. If you just want to buy some canned sauce, you feel free. You know, again, whatever's the most convenient thing for you. Don't hurt yourself to try to cook these things. It really is. It's kind of a passion thing for me. It's also great therapy for people who kind of just get in there and experience this. And cooking, I think, is really soulful as well because it's not just something you're doing for yourself. You're creating something for the people you like, the people you love, your family, whoever the case might be, your pet chinchilla, whatever you're doing this for. So it all kind of works. Now, for those of you that have been watching the episodes, you know that I'm really a advocate and devotee of roasted peppers, and I think really the Italians are the ones that made this happen. You can certainly take bell peppers yourself, you can char them, you can just bake them in the oven, but I think the best way to do is char them on a grill top. That's what we used to do for years here, and put them in a paper bag, and then the skin is easy to peel off. You can do that. It's a little time consuming, yields a great result, but today there are so many marvelous products available that you don't have to do that. You can just go to the store and buy them as canned roasted red peppers. So I'm just going to take this and put this into this sauce that I've got going on right now, which again is primarily tomato, a little olive oil. I did put some green peppers in there. So I'm going to cut some peppers. In the meantime, we have already cut peppers. And they're just going to go right in there. I've also got this spice blend going on here. So salt, black peppercorn, we have some red pepper, we have some paprika, a little bit of garlic, regular garlic, oregano, and thyme. So these are spices that we use, frankly, a lot of shakers. And you can do just about any style you want if you've got a few basics, and these would be amongst those basics. So just to mix this together, nice admixture. How are those shrimp coming along there, Katie?
They're coming along just
fine. Cool. All right. So while you're doing that, a little maintenance on a bench. Good sanitation is no accident, they say, and they would know. So we went ahead and we have cooked some rice as well. Now there's a few different ways to do this. You could actually put the rice inside of your tomato dish and work it up that way, or I think what we're going to do is just use the rice to go along with the shrimp, cook the shrimp inside the sauce, and then layer that on top of the white rice. But again, you can do it either way you want. They both have great flavors and great presentation. So I'm going to cut the backside of these while you cut this bell pepper. So it's a standard bell pepper. We wash it ahead of time, and there's a few different ways to do this, but we take off the crown and the base. And now what you can do is you can just take your blade and stick it right there, and you can walk this around the inside. That's one way to do it.
Okay.
Or you can just cut these sections off on the side like that, and then I want julienne. So julienne is along like a pecan, a long piece like that. We get this membrane. We don't really want the membrane because that's kind of icky bobo. So that's just going to go away.
Okay.
Kind of like that. Please don't cut yourself. So I find it's easier if you cut it that it's got the inside of the pepper up and skin down. But again, whichever way you like, and there's a motion to the knife. So we're using, it's a European, it's a German chef's knife, and it's got a natural angle to it, and kind of just like that, and most importantly, keep your fingertips like this, because I want to keep your fingers on your lovely hands, not in the dish, okay?
Okay.
So there you go, have fun with that. And you can also do the top, and all this, obviously. The important thing is to get rid of the core here.
Okay.
he's doing that. How's that knife feel? It's a big knife. So this bench is like 120 years old. This came from one of my great-grandparents' restaurants at one point, and you'll find that there's a little natural divot there. So sometimes your knife doesn't make complete surface. You might want to come this way a little bit. It's just so old that we can't take it any further down. So we're going to increase the temperature here. We just was idling away for a while. And this is the kind of thing that just benefits from cooking away for a while anyhow. So all I'm doing with these is I'm just cutting it about 3/8 inch down, right through. If you are not comfortable holding and cutting at the same time, you can lay this flat like this, okay? And just do the same thing here. You go to a lot of Asian restaurants, especially like Japanese hibachi, and this is pretty much what they do all the time. So whichever you're comfortable doing, just like that. So KJ, I had you do these freehand before, right? But again, I'll save one of these for you. It's so easy actually. Just kind of move it through like that. Okay? Cool. And again, still no complaints from the shrimp. He would be so proud. So you're doing a fine job with that. Nice and Julianne. These are just going to go in here. Rock and roll.
Yeah, that one was.
All right, that for you, that for you. Okay. Well, okay, you're cheating and doing it freehand. Okay, so let's grab one more shrimp and have you do it on the bench. That's good. So right over here. It's important that when you're not working with your seafood that you keep it refrigerated. All right, so shut it, please. Watch your legs. While Katie's doing that, so adroitly, I've got some celery here. And we don't need much celery, but I'm just going to take a little bit of celery. And we don't have to do the machine gun thing that I do. We can just do it casually like this, but again, don't cut your fingertips off, right? So taking our bench knife, and I like the little bit of the top as well. Different flavor profile, I think it adds a lot. And I'm going to take Katie's bell pepper, and that's going to go in there. And we're just missing one other component in our holy trinity, and that is the onion minus the peel. So we've used this for a different dish. Just going to go right in there as well. So this is one of those things that benefits from time. Katie's got that other shrimp in her hand. She's dying to cut this thing. So if you lay it down like this, and you start up on the top, and you just guide your ways through.
Okay.
Lovely. She's cleaning your throat. All right. Yay. All right. So questions about this, or why we're doing this dish, or anything else, how this works?
Yeah, why are we cooking this dish? How did you find this recipe?
Well, for those of you that know me, I don't find recipes. I go to other places, and I taste really incredibly tasty food, and I say, I kind of deconstruct it in my own mind. How do they go together? What do they do? Obviously, I've been in the business for a while, and I've been inside of all sorts of kitchens and many, many more restaurants, and I've just developed an affinity for not just cooking, but also for flavors. The ability to make different flavors out of things. That's kind of what I'm known for. So that spawned the entire sauce business for us that we sold internationally at one point, and all sorts of yummy stuff like that. So here we are, smashing some garlic. And if you saw the episode with the Cajun garlic, we had the shrimp on that's one of the first things to go with the oil, right? This we're putting on the backside. There's so many other flavors. I didn't want this to dominate. Okay? So Cajun is more garlicky. This is a little bit less garlicky. So what I want you to do is just take your blade like that and smash it down.
Okay.
Get out your frustrations, angst, that old boyfriend, that whatever the case might be. There you go, smash it. Cool. All right, so I've been hogging this little guy. I want you to do it now, up and in. All right, so I'm going to grab a little bit of water now. I just want to thin that around. So, literally, you can have this fish knocked down in 10 or 15 minutes. We're taking a little bit more of a protracted process with this, but it all comes together so easy. What you don't want to do is cook it too long because there's really, in my mind, nothing is worse for food than having any type of shrimp or lobster or anything like that that's cooked too much and just rubbery. So we utilize all sorts of things here at Shakers. So this is a high pan, right? But it works perfectly as a lid as well. So you don't have to have the fanciest, nastiest cookware. Got everything in the world here, obviously, but you can just grab a pie pan and stick that on top. It's so easy, and there you are, right? So for the presentation of this dish, we can pretend that we just made this rice, and we're going to put this onto a plate. I like the contrast between the black and the white, so by we, I mean you are just going to gently put that onto there. Okay. It's like you've done this before. Wow. And again, the rice is not complaining, so they're happy, right? Happy food. All right, so this is what this is going to be, and then this is going to cook for a moment longer, but we can at least pretend we're almost there. So what I like to do for this kind of thing is I would just take the shrimp and I would stand them up like that, and then have them kind of opposed. So this is one of those things that we could cut a little bit deeper on this, and we can cut it after the fact as well. Back in there for a minute, and then it should stand up just a little bit better like that. Okay, so feel free to start grabbing those guys, and if they're not standing up, give them a little deeper slit. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get some of our lovely butter here. Butter, because there's a very significant French element that goes up here. And I want the sheen that's going to go on top of the red portion. So if you thought in terms of like that and work your way around the plate, so I often tell people that when we do presentations for food, just for any of the food styling things that we've done, I like to do odd numbers. So 3 shrimp, 5 shrimp portrays better than 6 would be. You get that little star pattern. It's just one of those essences of good design work. But if you've got enough people that you want to have a table with 3 people, you want 2 each, that's what we're going to do. So magically, you've got one more working right here for you. Lovely, and lovely. Yeah, he needs a little deeper slit. So, got a couple options here. We can use a spoon like this. I'm going to actually grab a ladle for you. Just a little meter. So if you take this, and again, anytime you touch something, you got to move it around, stir it around, and do a figure 8 as opposed to just kind of this thing around the, I mean, they both work, but do that. And I like to bring things to the plate, but if you want to hold the plate, that's cool too. Whatever you're comfortable with, and you're just going to do like this one in the center, and then like a few more to kind of cover some of that rice up. This guy, pardon me. So let's give him a little deeper cut. Lovely. So that looks really good to me. I would take a towel and clean up your plate. So you guys think that you've been slaving away for this for hours, but the reality is, again, 10 or 15 minutes, you can knock this thing out and have just this dynamic dish going on. So what you will get into with this is that you see the textures are so important. So it's not just the texture of the shrimp, it's the texture of the celery, the texture of the green pepper, the texture of the onion, and then clean off the rice. And you got this lovely little gooey kind of sauce going on as well. So here we are, and this is a Creole shrimp dish that we've done at Shaker's on the Cooking with Blondes. Again, this is a maiden voyage for Katie, and you get to have some fun now to eat this as well.
Looking forward to it.
There you go. So, folks, hope you had a good time with this. Hope you enjoy cooking. Hope you enjoy cooking for your friends, family, the people that you love. They're not always the same. And, you know, make it your own. Don't stress out about something being absolutely perfect. Be creative and do what you want to do with this. I recommend, by the way, using Crystal hot sauce anytime you possibly have the opportunity to. That's what we use in house. It's traditionally what you find in New Orleans as well. And whether it's a Cajun or a Creole dish, this is the product that you want to go along with that, in my mind. Anyway, there we are, Katie. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.